This is like in K-pop where you just like look at the camera and you're like, and you have to like be like all charming and be like, and like not break eye contact and just be like really, really hammy. And it goes against my nature sometimes. Hey, it's Eric Kim. I'm a food columnist for the New York Times, and today we're gonna make my favorite potato salad. It's a honey mustard potato salad. You know those like honey mustard and onion pretzel bites? I used to eat those a lot growing up. I basically took those flavors and really applied it to the potato, which works really well. I made it for my brother's baby shower. A cavalcade of children loved it, as did all the adults. I also made it recently for a dinner party. I loved seeing all my friends take a bite of it and kind of watch their eyes light up. And that's sort of my benchmark for a good recipe. Potato salad's not really the thing I think to go for first, but this is a crowd pleaser. People really like it. I'm always trying to delight people, not just in the flavor. I want this to taste as electric as it looks. It just does everything I need a potato salad to do. But most importantly, this is the most important thing, the potatoes themselves are perfectly cooked. Beautiful, fluffy potatoes. I have baby Yukon Gold potatoes. As long as they're gold potatoes, that's fine. Try to get like, you know, baby potatoes, fingerlings. The skin is a barrier to the flesh, which means even if I boil this in water, which I'm only doing for 10 minutes, it won't waterlog it. But if you're cutting a big potato into cubes and then boiling it in water, a lot of water is gonna get in that. So just, you know, choose your potatoes wisely, but this is your chance to use these like little dinky like baby potatoes. They taste really good. So 1.5 pounds of potatoes going into a saucepan, and I'm gonna cover it with cold water. So once this comes to a boil, that's my cue to add the eggs. I love a potato salad with a little egg action. It does so much to the potato salad. I wouldn't like underboil them. If they're a little like jammy in the center, that's totally fine. But you don't want them like runny yolk, kind of. Unless, no, you kind of don't want that. I think it's time to add the eggs. Just like spoon them in so they don't get cracked. Though if they crack, it's actually not a big deal. So I just like to like jigger some of the potatoes aside. Okay, 10 minutes. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit just so it's like a more gentle cook. Okay, it's time. So just bring the pot over. You don't have to do this so like callously, but you know, you're just trying to crack it. And it's really hot, so you don't really want to touch it. I realized that if I crack the egg first while it's hot and then let the cold water shock it, and then you're able to just like take the entire shell off in like one piece. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Ooh, drain the potatoes. Always play to the camera. Okay, how cute. I love that colander, I need that colander. Okay, let's come back to our workstation. This pan is really dry now, but I'm gonna tamp it right away. Because now the excess steam, I like for it to finish cooking the potatoes. Just let that steam for 10 to 15 minutes. While that does its thing, I'm going to make the dressing. So just 1 garlic clove, grated. I like to use a microplane just to like, you know, do it finely. It kind of melts into the rest of the dish. Every time I have a raw allium like this, I do like to kind of mellow it out, kind of soften the edges with a little acid. And we have some vinegar here. So it's not just that you're tempering that sharp raw garlic taste. I really believe deep down, you're seasoning the vinegar as well. You don't have to like let that sit for that long or anything, but just that alone means that you're starting with like a garlic vinegar, you know, which I think is a really nice way to go. At this step, I actually really like to add the dry ingredients. This is a mild curry powder. You could use a hot curry powder, and this is onion powder. This is what gives you that honey mustard and onion kind of pretzel bite flavor. So these granular, grainy, dry spices, I don't want you to like chew on them as you're, you know, enjoying the salad. So what this does is it sort of hydrates them a little before you add the rest of the ingredients. I really used only the amount of mayonnaise that this needs. I didn't want it to be like too gloopy or anything, and it has so many other delicious things happening to create that kind of emulsion of liquid and fat and to kind of make it like creamy. So all I have here is about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I'm really a Hellmann's girl, but you know, over the years, I've really come to appreciate other mayonnaises. Because life is short, like, nothing matters that much. Mustard. This matters. You need to use yellow mustard. Please don't use Dijon. We're adding about 2 tablespoons of that. Honey. Honey mustard needs honey. A little baby amount. I specifically love using like a clover honey, like a runny honey. If it's not in a bear, then I don't want it. How beautiful is that? And immediately I'm hit with this pungent, like gorgeous scent. It's like, yum. It smells so good. It's so delicious. I love this dressing. I'm gonna add salt and pepper to this because I want my potato salad to be like well seasoned and, oh, perfect. Great timing, right? Okay, dressing is made. Look at that, gorgeous. Maybe don't do that either. Okay, the reason for this is, you want them to cool down slightly just so that you can like handle them. One really great reason for boiling them and then steaming them, you end up with a potato that's like really evenly cooked, that's like fluffy on the inside. It's different than just boiling it the whole way. I'm gonna cut these in half, like the big ones I'm gonna cut in half. As I do that, I'm gonna add them to the dressing directly. I do like to add these to the dressing while the potatoes are warm because it really like wakens up the flavors of the dressing. And I think the dressing also absorbs better into the potatoes. I like to add some whole, just because I think it's sort of like a pleasant surprise. Okay, remember those eggs we did before? Crack them while they were hot and then shock them in the cold water. I'm gonna show you how easy they are to peel. Please be easy to peel. For the most part, that came off in like one-ish peel, right? Pretty chill. That's way easier than it sometimes is. For every egg that doesn't peel well, it's like quality of life lessened. Call it like snake skin. Oh, never mind. Well, almost. So this is how I chop my eggs for this salad. You don't have to like be this precious about it, but I want them kind of in big chunks. I like big pieces of egg white in my potato salad, big-ish. So I kind of like slice them vertically first, run my knife in half vertically another time, and then sort of chop like this. You're just making like chunks. And that's the egg. Cute, right? Look how perfectly they're cooked. All of that egg yolk though, as you toss it, it kind of melts into the salad and sort of just really enrobes the potatoes in even more eggy richness. So yeah, just toss it. The warm potatoes are sort of really getting to know the dressing. It's really penetrating my nostrils in a beautiful way. And look how glossy and gorgeous this is. One thing about this salad though I have to say is if it sits out like this for like 3 hours, it's gonna look like crap. So you wanna like cover it really well and then right before serving, just toss it again and it'll get like glossy like this. To be honest, this is ready to go. Oh, I should taste it, that's important for seasoning. I'm gonna add a little more salt, but I'm not overdoing it because the thing about this potato salad is, I can do this because I'm wearing a yellow shirt. It's okay if it's slightly less salted than you think right now because the dressing is so flavorful. And to be honest, you don't want the potato salad on the table to be the salt bomb, So gorgeous, right? My kind of goal with this was just to make the entire surface of the thing to look really, really, really yellow. Like if you're at a potluck and you're walking by it, you'll be like, whoa. For just a tablespoon of vinegar, you get like a lot of acid here, which is really great. And there's no like graininess of the spices. The garlic it's not like biting me. It's just a mellow savoriness all throughout. It's so savory. There's so much umami here, but the potato is front and center. This is great for bringing something comforting and familiar to the table, but also with a little bit of, finesse. This is just a nice thing to bring to your friend's house. I think a lot of you do bring this to your friends' homes, and I thank you for that. Thanks for making this. For this recipe and many more, go to nytcooking.com.